Welcome to another audit. I audited an upcoming game called Species Unknown. Before I start, trigger warning for gore and flashing lights. I was really excited about this because it reminds me of Demonologist. I don't know if you've played, but like Demonologist or Phasmos, kind of that kind of style, but with like creatures instead of demons. After playing for about 40 minutes, I did have to stop. The flashing lights and character controlled movements are definitely not optimized for vestibular disorders. Let me start, though, with what they did good. First off, the visuals in the game are amazing. If you are a science fiction fan, you will love these visuals. The attention to detail is honestly just stunning. I found myself distracted by, by the beauty of the game. For all my Alien fans out there, you will 100% feel like you're exploring on the Nostromo. If you know, you know. The controls are introduced very clear. They really do prepare you for how the missions and interactions with the other players will work because it is a co-op 1 to 4 players. I didn't have any crashes or glitches while playing. It runs smoothly. I appreciate the map layout as well, although there were some barriers there that I'll talk about later. Now, to start off though with the barriers, let's go from the beginning. Accessibility menu. There isn't one. I really would love to see indie games actually just automatically include an accessibility menu. This is something that I just see so much. It's just so common, and the change on this is quite slow in the game world, I feel. The flashing lights for this, it is science fiction, so while it fits the genre, it is a bit excessive for me. The slipstream being the worst possible sequence of flashing and movement, adding an option to turn that off or skip it would be incredibly nice. It would really improve the accessibility. When you're roaming the corridors, at least on the demo map, you rely on your flashlight. It has a cooldown period, which is okay, but adding an option to remove the cooldown would help the lighting be managed. Going from dark areas to super bright can trigger motion sickness and migraines. So it may seem like a small thing, but it really isn't. It's a big thing when it comes to making things accessible. Looking at the map interface, I do like it. It's very Alien Isolation, but having an option to toggle instead of hold would be nice. You have to press and hold as you walk. It's fine. I mean, no game lets you run with it, but just having like a toggle so that you don't have to hold it constantly. If you have any dexterity barriers, whether it's arthritis or limited mobility in your hands, any motor function barriers at all, pushing and holding down the button or even just spamming the button isn't always possible. So it would be great to see that have a toggle. It's really common, but this next issue is really common, but hold on. There is no audio play for the mission briefs or any other information. This can always be optional. It doesn't have to be like fancy voiceover, but just having a text to speech voice would be fine, just so the player has the choice to turn it on and listen or to have it off and read. If you have any visual barriers with processing information, so there's auditory processing and visual processing. If you have struggles with visual processing, or maybe you're dyslexic or any other type of reading barrier, audio can bridge that gap and create access. So, another thing, the map. So, I love the map, but having the word next to the icon would really help with accessibility. Similar to like on a bus or an airport map, with the word next to the symbol, it helps with cognitive accessibility. When you're neurodivergent of any kind, I know for me, being autistic and ADHD, symbols with no words and sometimes vice versa is a really big barrier for me. I know that when I've been going through the map, I took a few trips to the main deck because I couldn't figure out what like the save button object was on the location. And I pretty sure that'll change as it goes along with each mission having different icons. So just having the word next to it. Picking up objects, super easy. It would be nice to have some kind of custom identifier. If you watch my previous audit of the upcoming horror game from Blumhouse, they had that option to highlight enemies and highlight objects in different colors. That's a great accessibility feature that I would like to see this game have as well. And it, again, turning these things on and off is something that I think is totally fine. It's just having that option available. So, for folks with like vestibular disorders, if you have epilepsy, migraines, Meniere's disease, trouble with vertigo, anything like that, this game is going to be a bit of a struggle for you. If you have any kind of dexterity or motor function struggles, it will also be a barrier for you. So, I think with this game in particular, I think back to The Last of Us. So that is a game that is on my list to play, but has been known to have incredible accessibility features. It's become kind of like the benchmark for what customizable accessibility looks like. It has vision accessibility, hearing, motor function, cognitive access. It has it has text to speech and screen reader accessibility, even. It's just, from what I hear, The Last of Us Part 2, I'm not sure about Part 1, but Part 2 is the one I hear the most about, is having so much available to make the game accessible to people. And I think that like seeing games like this follow that model would be great, because when you include accessibility in the design, you're reducing work. You don't have to change it later, but you also create accessibility. And I think that the gaming world needs to be more inclusive. Accessibility isn't just about like nice to have features. It's about making sure like every fan you have, every person, every player, regardless of their body or brain, has the tools they need to have fun and feel genuinely included and immersed in the game. Every time a game adds these features, it sends a message to the whole industry. It does, like I go back to the Bumhouse game because it has so many accessibility features. That should be the standard. Adding a basic accessibility menu, toggles, motion sensitivity adjustments, various vision options. There's just so many things that can be added to this game in particular to make it more accessible to the player. And I think, let me wrap myself up because I will go rambling. Overall, Species Unknown has huge potential, and it really like just blows the whole sci-fi vibe and atmosphere out of the park. It's so well done. But the problem is it leaves behind players. So the game is great. I will admit I played 40 minutes simply because how great the visuals were for me. I love sci-fi. So it was so fun. I wanted to play it and I wanted to keep playing, but I got sick, so I couldn't. I am one of those players that like if I could make that game accessible, Species Unknown, I would play that nonstop. I would play that nonstop. It's very immersive. It's the way just like the planets and the atmosphere, and it really is a very well done game. But it's just not accessible. So if you want fans, create accessibility and don't leave people out. I think a lot of times people become complacent and they think in an ableist view of, well, why would someone with a disability play my game? That should not be what people think. It should be, I know people with different disabilities will play my game. So what can I do to make sure they can all play? It's really like changing that thought process so that like a game like this doesn't get left behind because it had such good potential. So I'm giving this a 5. The reason I'm giving it a 5 is because it did have some good things. It had some things that worked well. It had equal amount of things that worked not so well. So middle ground, neutral ground, it gets a 5. I definitely think if there were some changes made by the developers before it comes out, which it probably won't because it's online, it says it's slated to be released full. The early access release is October 23rd or something like that. It would be great to see these changes happen before that. I don't think it will. I'd love to be surprised, but I will definitely be buying this game. I will have to create the access for myself that I can. So I'm going to have to make sure I take my medication for my vertigo first, and I'm going to have to limit the amount of time I play because I will get really ill, really. Like this game will be terrible for me. But I do love what they're doing. So, yeah. So, Species Unknown, giving it a 5. If you have any demos or games you'd like to see audited, leave them in the comments. I appreciate likes. I have noticed people liking my videos. You're amazing. Thank you. It helps so much. And mainly, honestly, it motivates me. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you liking. I appreciate people that comment. I will always respond to your comments. And just, it's great. Thank you for being here. And I will catch you in the next video.